Right, the weirdly emotional end for Isreal Adesanya. It's been a long old road that we've taken with the Dog Whisperer. I mean, just recently we've had the drama-filled rivalry with Pereira. So many iconic moments in just that alone, like a bro soap opera. And then there was the Strickland upset, a loss that no one saw coming. Well, nearly no one saw coming. No big deal. And bloody hell, don't forget about the whole who's more African saga. But even before all of that, in his heyday, there was the Whittaker fights, the Costa beef, the underwhelming safe title fights. And all of that is just inside of the cage. Outside has been equally eventful. The breakdancing cage walks bringing fresh energy to the UFC. The heartfelt moment defending Rogan against the smear campaign. Lots of glorious press conference cringe. And let's not forget the whole MMA Guru video series, highlighting things like his affluent upbringing and canine interests. We've had a wild old ride with Izzy, and love him or hate him, you get good bang for your buck in terms of entertainment. I've taken the piss out of Izzy plenty. I mean, the geezer asked for it. He's one of those fighters that is fun to cheer against. I wanted Strickland to win when he fought Izzy, and I wanted Dricus to win when he fought Izzy. But on the flip side, when Izzy finally beat Pereira, I was completely caught up in it all, and I was well happy for him. It felt very weird last week in the build-up to the fight. Just a strange energy. It was weird having Izzy being on a fight night and not a big card, even with it being a Saudi fight night. Izzy was unusually quiet and humble all week. In the fight week interviews, he was coming across really likeable and having fun. And I think a lot of the fan base quietly got behind him for this fight. It felt like we all wanted to see him win, just to keep him in the picture and relevant, if nothing else. His ring walk was very humble and sober, and he looked good in the first round. I mean, he looked good in the second round. How much that eye poke played into it, I'm not sure. If it was that bad, he would have stopped and taken the time. He said in the interviews that he felt that Imavov was getting tired and he didn't want him to recover. It's unfortunate that just before getting caught, he seemed to be trying to replicate Pereira's let me cook moment. I sincerely hope that wasn't a part of it. Knowing how much Izzy loves all those little details, I wouldn't put it past him to be trying to recreate that moment. He did seem to try and recreate the Holloway point down moment in his Dricus fight. Izzy does have a tendency to try a little bit too hard chasing aura. It would be a shame if that was it. But whatever the case, he lost. And it was sad. He dealt with it well. As I've mentioned in a previous video, whilst Izzy, when he wins, can be pretty insufferable, he actually takes losses really well. But it was still weirdly sad. Sad because it was a crucial fight for him. And he looked good. And yes, the stoppage was a little on the early side. But more than all that, it feels sad because it feels like it's the end. When you look at the position that he's in now, it doesn't leave him with a lot of options really. There's fun, fan-friendly matchups out there. I mean, Izzy versus MVP would be quality. But something tells me that Izzy's ego ain't going to let him stoop to the level of just simply fun matchups. With Khamzat circling around Dricus and Strickland like a wolf on fucking Adderall, it's hard to imagine Izzy's going to get anywhere near that title again. Conventionally, a fighter in his situation would then look up to the next weight class. But Pereira's a daddy up there. And a light heavyweight Pereira is the very fucking last thing that Izzy needs right now. So will he continue? I just don't see how, even if he wanted to. But I don't think he wants to. The Pereira rivalry took a lot out of Izzy. Those training camps building up to those fights. And the Strickland upset, timing with all the dog stuff, broke what was left of it. And for us fans, this comes after seeing Volk fall off his mantle. And we've watched Usman fall off the top. Charles hasn't gone long left. So many of the old faces that we know are on their way out or retiring. It just don't feel like there's many fulfilling enough replacements anywhere in sight. It ain't going to be long until they're all gone. Izzy, you are insufferable sometimes. And almost everything you say when there's a microphone in front of you is incredibly cringy. And the dog stuff, yeah, does seem a bit weird. And you represent more countries than the fucking UN. And yeah, you clearly had gyno titties. You were brought up well with servants. A lot of your fights were boring and close. You lost to Rob in the second fight. All of this is true. But at the end of all of this that we've been through together, we had fun, old friend. You can rest now. Cool, that got a bit serious, didn't it? Who am I, fucking Patrick Gavier? Let's even it out a little bit. There you go. Anyway, if you like this video, give us a sub, check out its playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.